There is a classic French dessert known as Crème Brûlée, which is one of my favorites. I'm going to give it my twist with some Alphonso mango puree. Now when you say a Crème Brûlée, it basically means a baked cream. So the recipe says just cream and eggs with some vanilla, and it is a classic combination which is baked in the oven. You add some sugar and you blowtorch it and you get a wonderful dessert. You know, it's one of my favorites and it's a classic. Everybody loves a Crème Brûlée. Now I'm going to give it my own twist. I'm going to add Indian flavors, Indian spices. I'm going to use cardamom instead of vanilla, and I'm going to use fresh Alphonso mango and a puree of it. Now Alphonso is a king of mangoes, so if you can get Alphonso, please use them in the season. If you can buy extra quantity, you can always peel them, dice them, make it into puree, put them into Ziploc bags, and you can freeze them and use them when you want. It is a wonderful fruit, and hence it is the king of mangoes. I'm going to use a blend of milk and cream together. So I've got 300 grams or 300 ml of milk. So when you use a full fat milk, 400 ml cooking cream. In this, I am going to add a generous quantity of green cardamom powder. Now classically into a French restaurant or a French cuisine, you would probably use vanilla, and you would use vanilla pods, and you would scrape out the vanilla pods from the sticks and put them into the milk and bring it to a boil. But I'm giving it an Indian flavor, an Indian touch. You would cold mix it first so that the cardamom just mixes up with the milk and the cream mixture. And then I'm going to bring that to a boil. What is happening here is you're warming up the milk and the cream along with the cardamom, and the cardamom is such an aromatic spice. It flavors the milk the same way a vanilla pod will flavor the cream and the milk. The cardamom is used for the same purpose. But cardamom has a very unique kind of fragrance which is very Indian in a way. It is also used in other cuisines as such. But with Indian sweets, it works extremely well. Now talking of cardamom, cardamom's pods are of three types. You get the green cardamom, which are normally used in most restaurants or in the cooking as such. It is used a lot and it has very nice flavor. The second one is the black cardamom, which is slightly thicker. You really can't eat that, but the black cardamom actually has a lot more flavor. The seeds in them are much more intense. It has a strong smoky flavor. So if you are using a black cardamom, use it very, very sparingly. I've used a generous quantity here, but if you use a black cardamom powder, you use a very small pinch into your food. And the third type of cardamom is the white cardamom, which is actually a green cardamom which has been bleached, and it is then used by restaurants to serve it to a guest as a digestive after or a mouth freshener after the meal. So three types of cardamom: the white cardamom, green cardamom, and the black cardamom. Now you have to ensure that you keep on stirring the mixture, otherwise the milk tends to stick at the bottom. So as you can see, it's got a gentle boil now, so it's simmering, which tells me that the milk and the cream mixture is just about right. And at this stage, I'm going to switch off the heat and let the cardamom infuse in the milk till it comes to not room temperature, but little more than room temperature. Now as that sits on the side, I'm going to now start the next process of making the custard for the baked cream. So I've got 4 egg yolks here. Along with that, I've got 100 grams of castor sugar. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the castor sugar and the egg and just cream it together. Just stir it together just to make sure that the sugar is not into solid form and mix it with the yolk, and it's almost like a cream-like texture. The reason we use only egg yolks here and not the whole eggs is because when you put the egg whites and the egg yolks together, it becomes very liquidy and the custard will become very runny. Just the egg yolks on its own will thicken the custard and will give it a very nice, smooth, luxurious kind of a feel when you're going to eat your crème brûlée. It becomes nice and pale, and the eggs have become creamy, and the sugar is all mixed up with the egg yolks. The cream and milk mixture has cooled down, and it's very important that it is not piping hot. Just slightly more than room temperature or tepid warm is perfectly fine. If I put the hot cream milk mixture into my eggs, it will start cooking the eggs and it will also curdle the eggs. And that's the reason why you bring it down the temperature to almost room temperature. Then you gently add the milk and you mix it with the egg just to fold the eggs. So you're not really forming a custard at this stage, but just gently folding the eggs in the milk, but batch by batch. And once that is done, then I'm going to add my mango puree. Also, when you add the milk, avoid using a whisk. When you use a whisk to mix the mixture, it froths it and that causes air bubbles. Now into a crème brûlée, you shouldn't really have bubbles. Pour the milk on the back of the spatula, but into small batches. Stir that together. Mix it with the egg and sugar mixture. And you see it just gently becomes smooth and liquidy. And a little more. So what I'm doing here is I'm gently adding the mixture and getting the eggs slightly warm and not really cooking the eggs. At the same time, the two temperatures of the mixture of the egg and the cream almost come to the same heat. So when I mix it back, it will not curdle. Look at that, nice and smooth. And again, using a spatula, not a whisk, because I don't want any air bubbles. And at this stage, then pour in the egg mixture into the pot. So the sugar is slightly grainy, but that's not a problem. It will melt in the cream mixture. Stir that together. Now many recipes will actually also tell you that you can put this back onto the stove, and on a very low heat you can keep on cooking the mixture till it becomes almost like a custard. That can also work, but this I find it much easier because it's anyway going to go into oven and cook further. So I prefer it just mixing it and not really cooking the custard here. And that's what you want. You want it to have a line formation coming off. At this stage, I add Alphonso mango puree. Now these are fresh mangoes, Alphonso mangoes, which have been peeled, put into a blender. You don't need to put any water or milk. Blitz it together till you get a fine paste. If you don't get fresh mango, you can also use mango puree or a frozen mango puree, even that would work. So all this goes in and a little stir. Just want to make sure the mango just spreads evenly into the custard mixture. Now is a very important part of actually baking in the oven. There is a technique called as a double water bath, and that is what you follow to make the crème brûlée. Now for this you need two bowls. One bowl where you actually put your custard in, and one larger bowl which holds the bowl in the center, and you put water around it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the mango custard mixture into the small container. So that's the mixture gone in. Now you can see it is quite a nice and evenly set on top. At this stage, I'm now going to add water on the sides of the pan. The water should go almost till halfway through. So this is known as a double bath. It's because you're putting two pots together with water in the center. Now once it goes in the oven and it cooks, the water basically lightly steams, it gets warm. It also cooks the custard at the same time. So it gives it a kind of not a baked kind of a effect, but more of a steam and a bake combination, and hence it is called a double bath. This goes into a preheated oven at 150 degrees centigrade or 300 degrees Fahrenheit for approximately 25 to 30 minutes till the custard, the egg in the custard cooks through. It sets the custard and it is slightly wobbly. It should not be firm, hard, but it will be slightly wobbly. And always remember, preheated oven. If you find it easier, you can put your two bowls together without the water and then pour the water in the oven. Even that could work. So we'll leave that for a good 25 to 30 minutes. So my mango brulee is done. I would let that stay in the tray for at least for half an hour, 40 minutes till it comes to a room temperature. Don't forget, it is still warm, it is still cooking, the custard is still cooking. It is slightly wobbly right now, but once it cools down, it goes in the fridge for overnight or for at least for 6 hours for it to really firm up, and then we're going to brulee it. The mango crème brûlée is ready. It was lying in the fridge overnight and I brought it out, and you can see it is nice and firm. The custard has set as the way it should be. Now me personally, I wouldn't mind even digging it straight inside and enjoying it. It is quite nice to have. But again, a crème brûlée is called a crème brûlée because it is brûlée on top. It's gratinated, the sugar on top has to be added, and then it has to be grilled under an oven or using a blowtorch. So I like to use a little bit of castor sugar, and all you do is actually just sprinkle the castor sugar on the top surface and try and coat it as evenly as you can. You would need quite a bit of sugar. Don't forget the edges. I'm going to spread the sugar evenly on top. And now for the best part. In the restaurant, we actually use a salamander or a grill, a top heat, where we put this and let it gratinate, or we have the commercial blowtorch, the large ones. But for domestic use, you can buy these simple small ones. And all you do is caramelize the sugar, make sure it melts and turns golden. Once your sugar is caramelized, at that stage, do not serve it straight away. It is still very hot. The custard will be cold, but the sugar on top will be very, very hot. Let it stay for a couple of minutes till the sugar cools down, and as the sugar cools down, it will become firmer and harder. So when you eat it, you get a very nice crackle. The best way to check if it's done is to use a spoon and tap it. You hear a sound? Now that tells me that it is nice and firm. That is the kind of a sound you need to get, which tells you that the sugar is nicely caramelized. I'm going to garnish this with some fresh Alphonso mangoes, because this is the mango crème brûlée. So just in the center. And when you make this dish, it does not need anything fancy around it. It is just very simply had on its own. Take it to the table, put it down after your meal is done, get a few sharing plates out, get some spoons, and all you do is dig in and enjoy this wonderful cardamom flavored Alphonso mango crème brûlée. So make sure you make it for your friends and family, and do not forget to comment and tag me. So until next time, happy cooking.